Former child star Orlando Brown, known for sitcoms like Family Matters and That's So Ravens, has earned a reputation involving erratic behavior over the last few years. Brown has been struggling with mental health and drug addiction for some time. Well, it's just reported that Brown had participated in a free 6-month inpatient recovery program in Texas called Rise Discipleship. The program is dedicated to helping men overcome addiction, homelessness, and various other circumstances. According to Houston Chronicle, Brown is not only scheduled to graduate from the program in November, but will also be getting married and is looking forward to reunite with his family upon completion. Today we have our company hype analysts, Vanessa, Capone, and Pierre calling in to give their reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
My Beyonce told me about this place, and when I came, it was amazing. You know, I had a blast. You know, accepted me for who I am.
Come on.
And, the whole thing was working now. The church is lovely. You know, what I'm going to tell y'all is all the leaders are brilliant. They're geniuses, and they're men of God. And they're raising us all up in the way to be the same. You know what I mean? So all I can tell y'all is I want to say thank you to all the leaders. I want to say thank y'all for coming out. And definitely donate. It's going to help the brothers. It's going to help the family. It's going to help the team. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say. God bless y'all, man.
Now, I want to come to you first, Capone. After seeing that, a lot of people are just finding out, some people may be finding out about some of the things that Orlando has overcome. What was your first, reaction when you saw that video?
I was happy that, it just gave me a sense of, I can't say nothing personal because I didn't know him, but it's always good to see a brother make it up from those things called drugs and alcohol and other things that bring you down to that level where you're not yourself. I'm just keep it honest that it didn't affect me in any kind of way except just being excited that he's making a comeback from being for recovery or whatever. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. Now, Pierre, I want to bring that same question to you. What was your first reaction when seeing that video?
I'm actually happy. Whenever I see somebody conquer their demons or seem to conquer their demons, the fact that he even took time out to go even see that something wasn't right. Because when we seen him beforehand, he was doing all kind of craziness in the camera and acting foolishness, what we consider foolishness. And it was now we found out maybe it was a drug situation. But now to even put himself in, being strong enough to go into a rehab situation. A lot of people feel like they can handle it themselves. But the fact that he went into a rehab situation, came out 6 months later, feeling better. Now he's an advocate for going to rehab, getting yourself better. I'm excited whenever I see a young man, especially a black man who, we fight so many demons all the time, to overcome them and be on the right track. And hopefully, this will continue for a long, long time.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I'm excited as well. Vanessa, I want to come to you next. What was your reaction when you first saw the video?
I was happy to see it. He looks happy, he looks healthy, and that's what we want, for each other, as peers and stuff like that. And we live one time we can remember, and we all want us to be our best selves. And he looks like he's really reaching within, which when you figure out that you're the problem, you can also understand that you're the solution. And I'm really glad that he's come to that and he's finding solutions for himself to live a better life. So it's good to see somebody smiling and taking responsibility for their life and taking action.
Absolutely. Now, I did recently see a video, and it looks like it may be around the time that he was going through through his completion. A couple months ago, he released a song called God Is In Me, and it's absolutely beautiful, just talking about some of the things he had to overcome and saying, how he feels like God is in him and not on him. So it's definitely worth a listen. Now, starting back with you, Vanessa, I do want to, kind of pivot a little bit. I think this is something that we see a lot of times, right, where there's just so many hardships or temptations that are in the industry or just around the industry. For you personally, how do you overcome those, or how do you, get through those in those times of, whether it's temptation or just hardships?
Kind of break it down. I got caught up in the industry and stuff like that, but through having family to be there to help ground you as well, I start realizing that, and I think we've said on the show many times, that this is an occupation, that we have, not unlike many others. There's a lot of attention put on us. And so we feel that we must kind of live up to certain pressures at certain times, be certain people, or be happy all the time, all that kind of thing. And that leads to sometimes leaning on other stuff like substance abuse or what have you, because I had temptations even before I was in the industry. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of learning that no matter what you're doing in life, you're going to have temptations that you're going to have to deal with, taking responsibility for my own happiness, realizing that it's not a certain place that I'm going to get to. And that's when I need to get happy, realizing that I need to be, responsible for that happiness each and every day of my life. So some of the actions that I take are meditation. I'm gonna I wanted Capone to do it first because he had a lot of his Zen stuff around him. So I wanted him to have that moment actually.
Okay, so we'll take it right to you, Capone. Then what are some of the things that you do to deal with some of those temptations or frustration or whatever it is within the industry that could be tempting to disrupt you?
Look at it as a job. Temptation doesn't come in those I guess you would say the drug play or the alcohol or the women. You get yourself, once you get grounded, you can really control and stay disciplined with what it is that you're trying to do. Like Vanessa said, I'm very much into meditation and things of that nature. And I just try to stay focused and stay clear. That's it.
Well, you going to show us your stuff, Capone?
What you want to see? I'm always saying, you want to see my bowl?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Right. Thank you. I wanted to see some of that magic that you have.
Now, I want to make sure I see y'all have a lot, of same things that you practice. I want to come to you, Pierre, to close this out. What are some of the ways or some of the things that you may do to stay, within a certain place within the industry?
Well, it's actually funny. A lot of times when I get critiqued on here or whatever the places I get critiqued, they're always like, "Oh, that's a Hollywood. That's a Hollywood. You do Hollywood." I haven't lived in Hollywood since 1997. I think 2007. I'm sorry. So I've removed myself from Hollywood a long time ago. So whatever I do is just me. So all that, you're Hollywood doing the Hollywood. No, sir. So that's the first wrong thing. What I did was, there was a lot of temptations. I'm a very handsome young man, so women were coming at me left and right. You can say what you want to,
It's right, left. You had to smile and knock them down.
The right angle. Okay, the right angle does it. But, and I fell in for a lot of this stuff. I fell in for believing in people in Hollywood when they say they're going to call you or do something for you or do whatever. I believed in all that. And it got to the point where I couldn't take it no more because I wasn't built that way. Wasn't born around that kind of situation where I'm more of a grounded individual. My family was grounded. So I had to move myself from there. I totally moved out of Hollywood because I said, this is not for me. Luckily, Atlanta is the new Hollywood. So in 07, I moved to Atlanta and built my stuff from there. So to me, I moved myself away first and then cut ties from being around that situation. So and now I know how to maneuver it. I realize the facade. When we're talking in a club about doing business, it ain't real business then. Business happens on Monday morning. It doesn't happen in nightclubs. Believe it or not, people talk all kind of stuff in nightclubs. So I had to move myself from the certain desires of chasing women. I wasn't an alcoholic. I don't do drugs, so that was never a problem. But the greed of wanting to be bigger and larger and force myself to be that way and feel like I wasn't
you weren't enough.
Right. I wasn't really there because another comic was higher than me and bigger than me. But you know what? We all have our place in this position, and I'm okay with it. If I don't become the biggest comedian star in the world again, I'm okay with that. I'm going to ride in my situation where I have a lot less pressure than some people who make a lot more money than me or have more fame than me. They call me up and talk to me about the situation they're in. So I'm in a good position. I'm on Comedy Hype News. All right. And I always put it in the comments. All right. Okay.
Way to close out such a great conversation with that. We're happy to have all of you on Comedy Hype News. And as always, I appreciate y'all for calling in and giving your input on this topic. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Orlando Brown making his way out? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
I got hobbies.
Those comments.
I got hot crafts and stuff. Hobbies.
Oh, damn.
Put it in the comments. What you do? It's the glue gun, baby. What's up?
Okay. All right. That's what the married life do. Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.